It is Pet Wellness Wednesday, so we're here with our friends from Birmingham Animal Hospital and Resort, Dr. Claire Bellman here as always. And it happens every year. We get those reminders from our vets saying, it's time to bring your fur baby in for their annual exam. Why are these so important?
They're so important because catching things early prevents significant issues in the long term. It can add years onto your pet's life, and it can help you make adjustments now to increase their quality of life down the road.
That's good to know. And part of that is, things like blood work that aren't super fun for your pet to endure, but important, right?
Right, super important. So in general, most vets recommend yearly testing, basic testing in our younger pets, usually like 6 and under. So that's testing for heartworms if you have a dog, and then our fecal tests are looking for intestinal parasites, just because our animals are prone to those and they can pass them on to us. So good thing to look for, and if we have them, we can easily treat them. So that's kind of the annual basic test. Now, once we get into our senior geriatric years, we tend to add on a couple other tests. The senior blood work panel just includes a look at our organ function, liver, kidney, pancreas, electrolytes, that sort of thing, as well as our red, white blood cells, making sure we're producing enough, we don't have too much, platelets, that sort of thing. And then our urine, make sure we don't have any subtle UTIs we're missing, any crystals, stones, stuff like that, just to check that maybe we could treat and prevent something bigger down the road that you may not notice at home. The last thing we always kind of start thinking about with our geriatric pets is an ultrasound. So even if we're not seeing any major issues at home, just a preventative fast ultrasound of our belly and our lungs can find small tumors early that we can do something about down the road. So something to start thinking about with our older pets.
Good to know. So if that's something that's being brought up, there's a good reason for it. And of course, our pets can't tell us, hey, there's something wrong. They can't communicate in that way. And even the signs may be subtle. So it's important to get those tests done so that we know if there's something wrong, we can catch it super early.
Right, exactly.
What about finding any changes that we might have to do at home? Is there any time that, somebody brings the animal in and you think, okay, we've got to change up a routine?
Right, yeah. So a lot of that is just a conversation with your vet, conversations about our diet. We've gained weight that year that you may not have noticed over the year, but we have on our medical records. Things like that we can discuss, exercise regimen. If we notice things on our exam, like we've got some tartar on our teeth, maybe we need to start changing our food, brushing our teeth. If we've started to get arthritis, add in a joint supplement. All these things that we can notice on a yearly exam, just to start changing things at home to extend their life and quality of life in the future.
And that's why it's important to bring them every year so that we'll have those records to base things off of, and you can get an accurate picture of what your pet's doing.
Exactly.
Dr. Bellman, anything else to share about those annual visits?
Yeah, just the last thing is that those vaccines, it's super important that they've had them in the past. Your pet's immunity needs to be boosted on a regular basis so that we don't get those as an older animal either. So though they're part of the rinse and repeat, we get kind of used to it, they're super important, and don't forget about those vaccines.
Don't forget, don't delay, and make sure that you get your pet in for a visit every year.
Yeah.
Dr. Bellman, thanks so much for your time.
Good to see you.
I'll see you next time.